This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got a lot of important news to share with you in this video. So President Biden signs the bill. Jobless claims are a little higher than expected, but still at a very low point. And President Biden officially acknowledges that the Build Back Better plan will not pass by Christmas. I'll let you know what Democrats and Republicans are saying. One Democrat is calling for a new stimulus package to happen in 2022. Republicans are hoping that the bill is dead forever. I'll also play a video clip from Bernie Sanders. We'll go over the latest stimulus check articles like this. Another stimulus check, senior citizens group fundraises to lobby for $1,400 payments. And this one, stimulus update, $575 million in payments on the way by January. Will you get one? And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. And I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video. But first, weekly jobless claims total 206,000, which is higher than expected and above the pandemic low. So weekly jobless claims for the period ending December 11th total 206,000, which is above the estimate of 195,000. So not too far off compared to other weeks. And the 4-week moving average declined to its lowest level since November 15th, 1969. Continuing claims also fell to a fresh pandemic era low. So things are looking good on the job front mostly. I guess it depends on the area you're living in. President Biden signs debt ceiling increase preventing first ever U.S. default. So we knew this was going to happen. Passed in the House, passed in the Senate. Then President Biden just goes through the signing of it. Nothing new there. Then we have this. This is actually really big news right here. So Biden officially acknowledges that the Build Back Better will miss the deadline, but says he's determined to see bill on Senate floor as early as possible. So this is really big because for weeks, a lot of the Democratic senators, especially Chuck Schumer, have said that there's going to pass by Christmas. It's going to pass before the end of the year. And it looks like it is not going to happen. President Biden admits defeat there. So saying, my team and I are having ongoing discussions with Senator Manchin. That work will continue next week. It takes time to finalize these agreements and prepare legislative changes and finish all the parliamentary and procedural steps needed to enable Senate vote. We will advance this work together over the days and weeks ahead. Leader Schumer and I are determined to see the bill successfully on the floor as soon as possible. Here is Pete Buttigieg's reaction to this, and I'll play you some Republican and then Bernie Sanders clip after that.
I'd like to begin with what is the breaking news of this hour, which is the statement from President Biden tonight about the Build Back Better Act. He said, describing his discussions with Senator Manchin, Senator Manchin has reiterated his support for Build Back Better funding at the level of the framework plan I announced in September. He said, we will advance this work together over the days and weeks ahead. Leader Schumer and I are determined to see the bill successfully on the floor as early as possible. So the timing there sounds like, when I hear weeks, it sounds like it won't be before Christmas as was hoped. It sounds like it's moving over into January. And the September level that he's talking about with Senator Manchin, is that the $1.75 trillion?
That's right. That's my understanding. And the president expressed confidence that this is going to get done, I think largely because the urgency continues and the support among the American people continues. Right now, we don't have one Republican vote for this, but we're continuing to have the conversation with senators to look at how exactly to get this done. Look, this is only becoming more urgent as we see a lot of news about inflation, because this bill is about cutting costs. We're going to cut the cost of insulin, cut the cost of child care, cut the cost of elder care, cut the cost of pre-K to free, and something I care a lot about, cut the cost of electric vehicles so that more drivers and families can afford the gas savings that come with an electric vehicle if you can only afford one. This is something that America needs more than ever. It's the right policy at the right time, and I do believe we're going to get it done, even though I can't speak to the exact date that it's going to happen.
So I know and we're going to get to this, the trucking workforce is specifically addressed in the infrastructure bill that's already been passed. But as I was thinking about it this evening, there are so many provisions of the Build Back Better bill that apply to truckers as well as other workers all over the country. I mean, the child tax credit, for example, when you read about just how difficult the economic life of truckers is in this country, there's ways of benefiting the trucking workforce outside of the infrastructure bill and in Build Back Better.
Absolutely, and I'll just give you one example. We had a roundtable, as you mentioned, today where Secretary Walsh and I were meeting with leaders from labor and business in the trucking sector. One of the most interesting presentations was by an organization called Women in Trucking, and the number of women in trucking has grown to about 10%, but obviously that's a long way short of 50%, and if we're leaving 50% of the country on the table when it comes to recruiting people into a profession where we clearly need more people, not that you have to be a woman to benefit from the child care provisions in Build Back Better, but there's no question that it's going to lead to more women returning to the workforce, which is just one of many, many reasons why it's not just good for families, it's good for the economy.
In yesterday's video, I pointed out there were rumors that the Build Back Better plan won't pass or that the bill was dead for the year, but it looks like this makes it official. It could happen in 2022, but that's when elections happen, and it's going to be a little hard. So Republicans are definitely really happy about this. Biden's Build Back Better plan dead forever, according to Lindsey Graham. So he said yesterday that I think the Build Back Better bill is dead forever, and let me tell you why. Because Joe Manchin has said he's not going to vote for a bill that will add to the deficit. Well, if you do away with the budget gimmicks, Build Back Better, according to CBO, adds $3 trillion to the deficit. So it looks like Joe Manchin and the Republicans have won this battle here. Here's more from Republican Senator Tom Cotton about the Build Back Better bill.
Meanwhile, President Biden in talks with Senator Joe Manchin in hopes of getting his key vote for the bill. Reports say those conversations are going very poorly. One source told Politico the president and Senator Manchin are very far apart. And if Manchin's mood is any indicator, those talks are in fact going poorly. Check out this outburst with reporters.
Senator Manchin, is it true you want the child tax credit out of Build Back Better?
I'm not against it. I've always been for child tax credits. We voted for it many times.
You want to continue it the way it is with $300 a month for the youngest kids?
Guys, I'm not negotiating with any of you all, okay? You can ask all the questions you want. You can just, guys, let me go. This is bullshit. You're bullshit, okay? I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Senator.
God almighty, man.
Well, he wasn't done. He was still talking. Tom Cotton, Arkansas Senator, in focus now. Senator, great to see you. You're laughing as I am. Look, frustration is at a fever pitch. Can you imagine being the one guy out among the Democrats right now, just standing out in the field alone?
Well, let me just say, Harris, I think we can all sympathize with what Joe Manchin feels about some of the liberal reporters that run around the Congress up here. But it's not just Joe Manchin. It's Kirsten Sinema and, frankly, some other Democrats, too, who have some reservations about this bill. So first, it is full of smoke and mirrors. It takes 10 years of tax revenue to pay for spending programs that only last for 1 year or 3 years or 4 years. That's designed to conceal the full cost. The full cost is $5 trillion. It will add $3 trillion to the deficit. Senator Manchin has made it clear he doesn't want to do that. And then if you look at the individual programs as well, they will not only drive inflation, as we just heard, for inflation for child care, but it also will discriminate against family-based care or neighbor care or faith-based care, because the Democrats want all of us to have to warehouse our children in state-run pre-K and kindergarten, presumably so they can start indoctrinating them right away with their left-wing ideas. That's not what most Americans want for their kids.
You know, it's interesting. I had Senator Blackburn on recently, and she talked about grandmas. And now I hear you talking about family. Do they really want to sideline people who keep those familial ties and values going?
That's the only thing one can infer from the way they've designed this child care program. It will drive up the cost. It will impose onerous and burdensome licensing requirements. It'll make it cost prohibitive to pay a neighbor to babysit, or to have a grandma who's helping support your family, or to go to a religious day school that has facilities that are largely sitting idle Monday through Friday. It'll make it cost prohibitive to do anything but send your child for pre-K to a state-sanctioned and state-run school
Wow.
where they are presumably going to be indoctrinating our sons and daughters from the earliest stages.
Yeah, and I caught that part. I mean, regardless of what may be said in those classrooms, what they're really doing is separating them from us. That doesn't feel like freedom. All right, we'll move to this poll. It's the latest Fox Business poll, and it talks about voters thinking President Biden's proposed social spending plan would push inflation higher than what it already is. And a lot of people feel that way. You've got 46% who say that'll happen. But I think the bottom number is equally as important, Senator. They think that nothing he's doing is going to make any difference at all.
Well, they're very smart because it's exactly what this bill will do. When you spend $5 trillion over 10 years, and much of that money is going to programs that will discourage people from working, of course it's going to make inflation worse because it's adding more money into the economy and discouraging people from going to work to make more goods. That's the very definition of inflation, more money chasing fewer goods. So the American people understand that it's the Democrats' policies that have driven inflation. Look, we've had this pandemic now for 2 years.
Yeah.
We only had inflation that's at 40-year record highs this year. That's a direct result of what the Democrats in Washington have done to America.
What are your thoughts on this? Is the Build Back Better bill dead forever? Is it going to be revived later in 2022, maybe with some stimulus checks in it? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Next up, Bernie Sanders tweeted this: I hope that very soon the Senate will take 2 giant leaps forward for the American people. Take a look at this video clip. You'll see what he says. And then we'll go over a new plan from a Democrat in the House talking about a new package coming about.
There are 2 major issues that we are dealing with, and I hope we're going to deal with them right now. One is the issue of voting rights and the understanding that in state after state all over this country, you got Republican governors and legislatures doing everything they can to suppress the vote, to pass extreme gerrymandering laws where people will not be getting the representation that they are entitled to. This is an issue that we have got to deal with, and we've got to pass a Voting Rights Act right now, because the clock is ticking. These maps are being settled, and if we don't act now, it will be too late. Second issue, of course, is Build Back Better. And what I would say to my Republican colleagues and any Democrat who is thinking of not voting for this comprehensive legislation, you're going to have a lot of explaining to do. You're going to have to explain to your constituents why you don't have the guts to demand that the wealthiest people and largest corporations in this country start paying their fair share of taxes. You're going to have to explain why you voted against the effort to lower the outrageous cost of prescription drugs. You're going to have to explain why you don't want to expand Medicare to cover dental care, hearing aids, eyeglasses. You're going to have to explain why you think we should do nothing to deal with the existential threat of climate change, which obviously impacts every part of this country. You're going to have to explain why you're not wanting to do anything about child care or pre-K. So I hope very much that in the very immediate future, we're going to take 2 giant steps forward for the American people, and that is, number 1, protect every American's right to vote. Number 2, pass the most comprehensive legislation to benefit working families in the modern history of this country. Thanks.
Bernie Sanders hoping that the Build Back Better bill as well as the voting rights are going to happen very soon. We don't know what very soon means according to any politician, no matter who they are, what they stand for. So looks like we don't know the timing of the Build Back Better bill or voting rights, or if it is going to happen at all. But there's a new plan from another House Democrat. So House Democrat calls for Congress to pass another COVID relief package. So this is from Representative Jamal Bowman. I played a few of his video clips in the past saying, we now lost 800,000 American lives to COVID-19, double that number we lost in World War II. This number is shocking and cannot continue to climb without another federal intervention. Our defense budget is $770 billion a year, but we are not doing enough to defend ourselves against the global pandemic that is killing us directly and indirectly through the mental health crisis it has created. So he talks about how in the last package there were stimulus checks, there was unemployment assistance, things like that, and that he wants to do something like that in the future. So saying the pandemic has and will continue to change us for years to come. We need to take action now and the surest way is to do it is Congress to exercise our power of the purse and direct much needed funds to our children, families, and communities. So it goes into it a little more. This is Jamal Bowman right here. This could be a chance for another package with stimulus checks, but it doesn't seem too popular, especially with Joe Manchin. So no matter what the Democrats want, if Joe Manchin does not approve of it, it looks like it will not happen. Here is the latest stimulus check news right here. So $500 stimulus check applications starting Saturday for St. Louis City residents. So I want to mention this every day until Saturday. So if you know anybody in St. Louis, $500 stimulus check applications going on Saturday. So be sure to take advantage of that if you're in St. Louis and you qualify. We have this article right here, surprise December stimulus check payments of $600 and $1,100 being sent out tomorrow. Here's how you'll be able to be sent cash. So this is talking about the California stimulus checks. So looks like final payments are expected to be issued by December 17th, which is today, Friday, for the remaining, knocked over something on my desk, which are the remaining stimulus checks for California. Then we have this article right here, another stimulus check. Senior Citizens Group fundraises to lobby for $1,400 payments. So we haven't heard much about the Senior Citizens League $1,400 stimulus checks. I check every day for the latest stimulus check articles and share it with you. Even if it is somewhat repetitive, I want to break down those misleading headlines and let you know what's going on. When it comes to the $1,400 stimulus check, it has died out. Haven't heard anything from it, and it looks like it is not going to enter any big package like the Build Back Better bill or be a standalone package. But basically, this would give $1,400 just to seniors who collect Social Security checks, which could help a lot of people, but I think it should probably be expanded to people on fixed income in general, to go out to veterans, disability, not just the seniors on stimulus, on Social Security. Also, we have this article right here, stimulus update, $575 million and payments on the way by January. Will you get one? So this is also talking about the California stimulus check, with checks going out today, as well as probably over the next few days, and that'll conclude the California stimulus checks. And that concludes all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is a tip of the day. I want to tell you one of my favorite secrets. Adults don't know everything. And also, so I don't too. I know I'm really smart, but I don't really know as much things. You don't know as much things, but we're all gonna learn. I promise. If you keep on working every day, I can, and we all can, and we can all be really smart. And we can all be really smart.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget, giving out $200 checks. Check out the description below in this video to qualify for a $200 check if you want to win that. Here's a video clip of my daughter Bella doing her Silk Aerials class. She really likes it. She's really good at it too. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And if you want to check out my latest Wise Vibes video, you can click up here, or click the link down here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.